lab, we are going to be looking at circular motion. So we're literally going to be spinning something around in a circle. The setup is going to be a little strange. We are going to have on one end of this string a bouncy ball. This is going to represent the mass, the object that's actually moving in a circle. There's a plastic tube. That's going to be what you hold on to make sure that you're not affecting the force acting on it. An alligator clip that's going to help us keep our radius nice and consistent. And then at the other end of the string, you're going to find many washers. These are going to represent the force that's being applied to the mass. There also will be a paper clip-like thing. This is going to be what keeps the washers on the end, and you can simply make it straight to get the washers on and off of it. Now, we're going to be looking at how all of these different things affect the period of the object. Period is the measurement that tells us how long it takes to go around the circle once. But as you can see, if I'm just spinning this like this, it's going to be really hard to figure out what the period is for one revolution. Instead of only looking at one revolution, you're going to have a lab partner who's going to be timing the amount of time it takes for the bouncy ball to go around 10 times. Then you will simply divide your time by 10, and after you divide by 10, you'll have a pretty average period for the entire trial. Now, what you're going to be doing here is to make this go. You've kind of seen me do it a few times. Your alligator clip, like I said, is going to help you keep a nice consistent radius. So you'll put that where you want the radius to be. Then you'll start spinning it, okay? You want to make sure that your alligator clip is remaining approximately the same distance away from the bottom of the tube at all times. If I'm going at a nice consistent rate, it will be. However, if the bouncy ball slows down, you're going to notice the alligator clip is slowly creeping downward. If I go too fast, you notice that the alligator clip A went up, and B, it's now stuck inside of the plastic tube. What this means is that the force is not only the force of the washers, but also the force of the alligator clip. So like I said, when you do this, you want the alligator clip to be slightly below the plastic tubing and staying at that nice, consistent distance away. Now, in this experiment, we are going to be measuring 3 different things and their effect on the period. The first one that you are going to do is measuring the effect force has on the period. So you are going to be changing the number of washers that are present at the bottom of the string. You will spin this around, measure the period, take it off. Then you will take off some more washers, spin it around, and continue to do that. Now, please make sure you don't spin it like this. We want our bouncy ball to be spinning in a nice horizontal circle, as horizontal as you possibly can do. You don't want it to be something like that because then gravity is going to be affecting it more. The second experiment that you are going to be running, you will be changing the radius. So, you will literally be taking your alligator clip, and you could have a really big radius. So now it would be something like this. Or you could have a really small radius, and it would be something that looks like this. And everything in between. Now, when you're doing those radii, you need to measure the radius as the distance from the end of the tube to the bouncy ball. And you're going to need to record those radii as well as the period that you have. The third experiment, you're going to be changing the mass. So you will literally be adding more bouncy balls onto the end of the string. You will have 3 within your own container. And then you can borrow up to 3 more from other lab groups. The more data points you get, the more chance that you will have a more accurate graph. For each one of these experiments, you will make a graph, something versus period, depending on whatever you changed. And then you will be, after you make your graphs, you will be trying to determine if there is any straightening that has to happen. So please make sure you're referring to all of your different types of graph straightening practices. As you're doing this, please be careful of the fact that, or mindful of the fact that there are going to be bouncy balls spinning around. Try not to hit other people in the head. Make sure you don't walk into a spinning bouncy ball, and be respectful to the lab partner who's spinning and tell them, hey, we're done. We got our 10 trials. So good luck, and may the bouncy balls spin well for you.